Okay, so picture this. You're at the gas station, right? And you're filling up your car. But instead of gas, it's powered by energy. Energy harnessed from miles below the ocean's surface. Kind of wild to think about, right?
It is pretty wild.
Well, that's just one of the many possibilities we're going to be exploring today as we deep dive into the future of the oil and gas industry.
It's funny because it's not just a simple oil is out, renewables are in situation anymore.
Right.
This report we're looking at, it paints a picture of 2025 and beyond that's way more complex and honestly super exciting.
Yeah, when I was skimming through it, the word that really jumped out at me was transformation. It's not just about drilling anymore.
Right.
We're talking digital tech, sustainability efforts. Like, there's a ton of investment happening, and it's shifting all around the globe.
Absolutely. And one of the most interesting things I noticed is how 2025 is sending these mixed messages for oil and gas.
Yeah.
Take upstream investments, for example.
Yeah, the report mentioned that there's going to be a decline in those overall, which, I mean, I guess makes sense if we're moving towards cleaner energy, right? But then it talks about an increase specifically in deep water exploration. And I'm like, wait, so which way are we actually going?
It's like they're trying to walk on a tightrope,
Yeah.
On one hand, they're trying to become super efficient with the production they've already got going on.
Mm-hmm.
So AI and machine learning are being used now to optimize drilling, to cut those costs. BP, for example, they managed to cut costs by like 30% in the Gulf of Mexico,
Wow.
just using those technologies.
Oh, they're really trying to squeeze every last drop out of what they've already got, huh?
Yeah,
Makes sense, I guess, especially with all the uncertainty around what demand is going to look like in the future.
exactly. But the Deepwater exploration, that shows that they're not giving up on finding new sources. ExxonMobil actually increased their exploration budget this year by 15%.
Wow.
And they're targeting places like Guyana and Brazil.
Guyana and Brazil, huh? So I guess the Permian Basin's not the only game in town anymore.
Not at all. I mean, long-term projections, they still show a need for oil and gas.
Yeah.
So companies, they're making strategic moves to secure their place, in that future energy landscape.
Okay, speaking of strategic moves, I noticed the report mentioned a lot of mergers and acquisitions happening.
Oh, yeah.
Is that just like typical corporate shuffling? Or is there something bigger going on here?
It's definitely more than just shuffling papers. I mean, we're talking huge deals here. Like Chevron, they acquired Hess Corporation
Oh, wow.
for $53 billion.
Whoa, that's a lot of zeros.
That's a lot of zeros.
What are they hoping to achieve with these mergers, though? Like, what's the end goal?
You can kind of think of it like survival of the fittest. Companies are consolidating, trying to grab those resources, streamline their operations, become more efficient, more competitive. It's like they're bulking up for a marathon, not just a sprint.
Gotcha. So bigger players, smarter tech, long-term vision. Okay, I'm with you so far. But let's go back to those new frontiers you mentioned.
Yeah.
The report highlights a lot of growth in the Americas, but not just where we might expect. It specifically mentioned the Eagle Ford shale play in Texas. Why there?
Well, the Permian Basin, it's definitely still a powerhouse, that's for sure. But the Eagle Ford's seeing kind of a resurgence.
Really?
Yeah, and that's because of all these advancements in extraction technology.
Oh, interesting.
They've managed to increase production by 10% just year over year.
Wow.
And it just shows that innovation is not just happening in one spot, it's popping up wherever there's potential.
So they're finding ways to, like, tap into these resources that were previously just out of reach.
Exactly.
It's fascinating how tech is really opening up all these new possibilities.
Oh.
And I almost forgot, the report also touched on some ongoing LNG projects. Are those still a major focus in 2025?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Now, we might not see a ton of final investment decisions being made for brand new projects this year, but the ones that are already in motion, full steam ahead. Qatar's North Field expansion, for example, that's on track to boost their LNG production capacity significantly by 2027.
Wow. Okay, so we've got companies getting leaner and meaner, exploring new frontiers, investing in these massive LNG projects. But there's another big piece of the puzzle I want to dig into, and that's this whole digital transformation thing. The report really hammered on that point.
Yeah, and for good reason. This is where things get really interesting.
I feel like every industry on the planet's talking about this digital transformation thing, but is it actually making a difference in oil and gas? Like, for real?
It's not just a bunch of buzzwords, trust me. There are real concrete examples of how this tech is revolutionizing the industry. Like take Shell, for instance.
Okay.
They're using these things called digital twins in Nigeria
Digital twins.
to optimize their maintenance and to plan for extreme weather events.
Hold on. Digital twins. Is that like having a virtual clone of their whole operation?
It basically is. It's a virtual replica of all their physical assets.
Yeah.
So it allows them to run these simulations, right?
Sure.
Figure out potential issues before they even happen, make smarter decisions, and they can do it all from a computer.
Wow, that's next level stuff. Sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, honestly.
Kind of, yeah. And this whole digital push, it goes hand in hand with the industry's sustainability goals, too.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, did you see that clean energy investments are actually projected to outpace oil and gas spending for the first time ever this year?
Yeah, that really jumped out at me when I was reading the report. It feels like a real turning point. But, like, how much money are we actually talking here?
Get ready for this. $670 billion
Whoa.
is expected to flow into clean tech this year alone.
That's a huge shift in investment. So where's all that money going exactly within the clean energy sector?
Well, the report mentioned a few key areas.
Okay, lay it on me.
Mm.
What's, like, the top spot?
First up, natural gas. It's being positioned as kind of a transition fuel.
Yeah.
You know, a bridge between those traditional fossil fuels and the cleaner alternatives that we're moving towards.
So like a stepping stone on the path to a cleaner future.
Exactly. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the second area, carbon capture and storage technologies, or CCS for short.
Mm-hmm.
They're seeing a huge surge in funding. This is all about reducing the emissions footprint of those existing oil and gas operations.
It's like they're trying to, clean up after themselves in a way.
Yeah, kind of. All right, and the third one, this is really interesting. There's a massive uptick in acquisitions where traditional oil and gas companies are buying up renewable energy assets.
Oh, wow.
So it's a sign that the industry is moving towards this more integrated approach.
So instead of just focusing on one type of energy, they're building these like diverse portfolios that include both fossil fuels and renewables.
Exactly. It's like they're hedging their bets, right?
Yeah.
Acknowledging that the future of energy is probably going to be a mix of all these different sources.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Companies are getting leaner, exploring new areas, the tech's changing the game, huge investment in cleaner solutions. But there's one thing from the report that I've been dying to talk about. And it's, right there in the name of our show, Deepwater Production.
I was wondering when you'd bring that up. It's pretty cool stuff.
It's more than cool. It's mind-blowing. The report predicted that deepwater output's going to increase by, 60% by 2030.
It's a remarkable projection.
That's huge EE. That's a massive jump in production from these underwater sources.
It is, and it highlights a few key things about this whole energy future we're moving towards.
Okay.
First, there's still a ton of resources out there, like vast, untapped resources, even in places we might not expect. Second, the tech is catching up. We can access these resources in ways that we just couldn't before. And third, demand for oil and gas. It's not going away anytime soon. It's going to continue to be a major factor in that global energy mix for years to come.
Okay, so let's break this down a bit. Why such a big increase in deep water production all of a sudden? What's making it so attractive?
Well, a lot of it has to do with Brazil.
Okay.
They're pre-salt fields. They're like this giant treasure chest of oil and gas.
Mm-hmm.
And they're investing billions with a B into these new floating production platforms to get it all out.
Floating production platforms? What are those exactly?
They're called FPSOs. Stands for Floating Production Storage and Offloading Vessels.
Okay.
They're massive. Think of them like these self-contained factories out in the ocean. They handle everything from drilling and extraction all the way to processing and storage. And they're just bobbing around out there.
It's like they built a whole industrial complex out at sea.
Pretty much. And these FPSOs, they're allowing Brazil to seriously ramp up their deepwater production, like their pre-salt output alone, expected to grow by 5% year over year.
Wow.
Could reach 4 million barrels per day by 2030.
That's a lot of barrels.
Some analysts are even predicting that Brazil's total oil output could hit almost 5 million barrels per day by 2032. And most of it's coming from these deepwater fields.
So Brazil's becoming a real major player in the global energy market, huh? All thanks to these underwater resources. But how is all this even possible? Deepwater extraction, it just seems so incredibly challenging from like a technical standpoint and just logistically.
Not easy, that's for sure. But all these advancements in technology are making it way more feasible and efficient
Yeah.
than it ever was before. We're talking some seriously cool tech here. Like, one innovation is subsea processing.
Subsea processing, what is that?
It's basically doing all that initial separation and processing of the oil and gas right there on the ocean floor.
Oh, wow.
So you don't need as much surface infrastructure, which makes the whole thing more cost-effective and a lot more environmentally friendly.
So they're basically building these like mini refineries at the bottom of the ocean. That's wild.
It is pretty wild. And if that wasn't cool enough, they're also using these things called autonomous underwater vehicles, AUVs.
AUVs.
Basically, they're robot explorers that roam around the ocean floor.
Robot explorers. Seriously.
Seriously, it's like something out of a sci-fi movie. They collect data, they map the seabed, they even help with those drilling operations. They can operate for days without needing to come up for air. And they could dive way deeper than anything else.
So they're like the underwater eyes and ears of the whole operation.
Exactly. And if those AUVs weren't enough, they're also using these things called remotely operated vehicles, ROVs.
Okay.
These are super maneuverable underwater robots equipped with all kinds of crazy tools,
Like what?
like high-definition cameras, robotic arms for repairs, and maintenance. You name it.
It's like they have a whole team of underwater mechanics down there keeping everything running smoothly.
That's a great way to put it. It's a remarkable feat of engineering, really.
Yeah.
Human ingenuity at its finest. And it's changing the way we even think about how we produce energy.
Seriously, it's mind-blowing how much tech goes into making all this deep water production happen. Robot explorers, underwater mechanics, it's like a whole other world down there.
Yeah.
But, zooming out a bit, we've covered a lot in this deep dive. Optimizing what we've got, exploring new areas, digital twins, underwater robots, maximizing those profits, prioritizing sustainability. It's clear that the energy industry, it's changing fast. But what does all this mean for, the average person out there?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't
That's
it?
this.
All this change, all this innovation, it impacts how we live our lives, how we work, how we power our world.
Exactly. So for someone who's, not an energy expert, what should they be paying attention to? What are the big takeaways from all this?
I'd say keep a close eye on a few things. First, watch how these companies are integrating sustainability into their core operations. It's not just a PR stunt anymore.
Yeah.
It's like a fundamental shift in how they do business. So look beyond the headlines, right? See which companies are actually putting their money where their mouth is when it comes to reducing emissions, investing in renewables, adopting those cleaner technologies.
So actions speak louder than words, basically.
Exactly. Second thing, pay attention to how these new technologies are developing and being used, and not just in deep water exploration, but across the entire energy, like value chain,
Okay.
artificial intelligence, renewable energy solutions, all that stuff. Innovation is going to be key why in shaping where this industry goes. Keep an eye out for those breakthroughs in things like battery storage, hydrogen production, even fusion energy.
I mean, it sounds like we're on the verge of some seriously big breakthroughs.
We might be. And a final thing, don't underestimate how much power consumer demand actually has.
Right.
As people become more aware of the choices they're making around energy, it'll push those companies to adapt,
Okay.
offer those cleaner, more sustainable solutions.
So it's not just about those big companies, those governments making the changes. It's about all of us doing our part too.
It absolutely is. The energy landscape is shifting, and it's an exciting time to be a part of it. There are definitely challenges, but there are also huge opportunities for those who are willing to embrace that change and think outside the box when it comes to the future of energy.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive. It's been a fascinating look into the future of energy.
My pleasure. And remember, folks, the future of energy, it's in our hands. By staying informed, staying engaged, we can all play a role in creating a cleaner, more sustainable world.